Episode number 941, My Personal Story.
You're listening to the official BNI podcast with BNI founder and Chief Visionary Officer, Dr. Ivan Meisner. Stay tuned for networking and referral marketing tips from the man who's been called the father of modern networking, along with suggestions and insights into getting the most from your membership in the world's largest networking organization, BNI.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the official BNI podcast. I'm Priscilla Rice, and I'm coming to you from Live Oak Recording Studio in Berkeley, California, and I'm joined on the phone today by the founder and the Chief Visionary Officer of BNI, Dr. Ivan Meisner. Hello, Ivan. How are you and where are you?
I am at home in Austin, Texas for a few days, and it's always good to be home around the holidays.
No kidding. So what do you have to share with us today?
I have a guest, and my guest's name is Anna Rivers. Anna is the area director for BNI Oregon and Southwest Washington. She's a proud member of Portland Business Advantage, the largest chapter on the West Coast. And since joining BNI in 2019, she's helped launch and grow chapters across the region. She's helped build strong communities, which is what BNI is all about, is building communities. And she's not only supporting business owners through BNI, she also enjoys spending time outdoors with her husband and their chocolate lab named Finch. What a great name. Anna, welcome to BNI Podcast.
Thank you so much, Ivan.
It is great having you on. And you have an amazing story that I've heard, and I asked for you to be on the podcast. And, you know, BNI absolutely goes beyond the confines of the meeting room, and your story is an amazing example of that. So I'm just going to let you tell your story, and I might add some color commentary as you go. Tell everybody the story you told me when we met before.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ivan, for the opportunity. So my first global convention was 3 years ago in Madrid. And when I was there, and that was the first time I really experienced BNI on a global level, I had this very random what if thought. When I was a baby, I was adopted from Romania and brought to the United States. And I was actually seeing Romania at that time winning a lot of awards for BNI. And so I thought to myself, how can I leverage this global network to find my biological family, my birth family? And so that's when I asked myself, where or who is the national director of BNI in Romania? And that's really what started this idea, was attending a global convention. And so last year, I asked the national director of the United States to introduce me to Manuela, who is the national director in Romania, so that I could see, do you have any members who could help? Can you help in any capacity? And that is when she introduced me to these very specific Facebook groups where people who were adopted from Romania, they can post as much or as little of their story within the Facebook groups, and people try to help you reunite with your biological family. I posted my information on a Tuesday, and literally 2 days later, I had a social worker respond to me and say, I just got off the phone with your uncle. Let me give you the information.
Wow.
Tell us more. I'm riveted by this again.
Yeah. So it was a whirlwind because it only took 2 days when we actually posted the information. My husband and I figured we'll start planning now so we can travel to Europe a year from now, kind of a situation. But it ended up going much quicker than that. And so we hopped on a Zoom call with my biological grandfather, grandmother, cousins, aunts, uncles. Everybody came together in my grandparents' house to get on this.
And how long was that from the time you put up the message on Facebook?
So we got connected on Thursday, and that happened the next day on Friday.
All right. So it's literally just a few days. I love that.
Exactly. So it was really fun because of course we don't speak any Romanian. So it was like, hi. But we used a lot of Google Translate. They
Yeah.
then connected me to my birth mother and my brothers who now live in Italy. And so after the Zoom call with my extended family, we hopped on a Zoom call with my biological mother. And then maybe the week after, we booked our flights. This was in April, and we were in Italy and Romania end of May, beginning of June.
Mm.
So it was
And
very
how
good.
did that meeting go?
Leading up to it, it was a very anxious process. Like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm walking into. It's emotional for me, but it's also emotional for them, understanding that. But once we actually got there, it truly felt like you were going to your family's house for Sunday dinner. Like,
Mhm.
we have known these people forever. My cousin, Dennis, he said, in Romanian, we have this phrase that blood is thicker than water. And that is
Mhm.
truly what it felt like was, this is our blood. This is our family. We may have not seen each other in over 30 years, but we're still family. We're still connected.
How
Mm.
old were you when you were taken out of Romania?
I was 9 months old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just a
Very
baby.
good. Now, do I understand correctly that you're thinking about now your biological mother lives in Italy? Are you thinking about getting a second home in Italy?
Yeah, so interesting. We started talking about, well, if we're going to go back on a regular basis, why not buy a second home? And so anytime we travel internationally, we always try to go to a BNI meeting, one of which was BNI Valtabarina in Perugia. And the visitor host team being so great, they knew we didn't speak Italian. They sat us right next to one of the members who does. And he happened to be the residential real estate agent of the chapter. So we shared with him, this is our dream. We want to eventually, hopefully, buy a second home in Italy so we can go back and forth as often as he wanted. And so that goes to really speaking to the fact that Giver's Gain is so global. It wasn't just him. We used these translating devices to be easier to talk with family. And we purchased them from Jay Lucas, who's in BNI of the Tiger in the Ozarks.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in Romania, we went to their national conference. My husband was passing referrals to other people in his contact sphere. So BNI really is so much more than the confines of your meeting room. It is global.
It really is global, no question. And I love the fact that you're thinking about getting a second home in Italy. I love Italy. I've always loved going to Italy. I'm a big fan of wine, so I love Italian wine and French wine. And I would love to have a second home in Italy, except I have to travel too many places. But that's a great place to go.
Absolutely.
So this happened at a global convention, right? Or it all started with you talking to somebody at a global convention?
Yeah, it all began when I was in Madrid, and it really was just this like, what if thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't until last year that we actually started the process connected to Manuela so we could figure out how we were going to do it.
Yeah. And were you shocked that it took just a couple of 3 days?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We fully expected we'll start these conversations. It's not going to be overnight that this happens. So we'll plan, okay, a year from now we'll be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I would have thought. I would have thought, well, it's going to take time.
Yes.
You're going to have to meet somebody who meets somebody who talks to somebody who meets somebody else. I'm a little shocked that it happened this quickly, but just a little shocked, because one of the things that has surprised me over and over again is how quickly things can happen within BNI when you put it out there. All you have to do is put it out there, whatever it is that you need or want. And when you do that, it's amazing to me how quickly sometimes things can really come together. And that's what I see with this. Tell me, how do you see this applying to BNI in general and to BNI members around the world?
Well, I would say if you are your everyday BNI member and you're wondering if global convention is an opportunity that you should take advantage of, I would say 100% yes. It can provide value to any BNI member because it wasn't until I went to a global convention in Spain that I really understood how big the opportunities in BNI are.
Yeah.
I was standing there. I was surrounded by entrepreneurs from more than 70 different countries. But I realized we all spoke the same language, which is givers gain. And
Yeah,
that was
which is
the
why
moment.
I have the phrase, different people, different places, different countries, different cultures. We all speak the language of referrals. And that is really, really true in BNI.
Yes, absolutely. And it was really that moment that opened my eyes to how much is possible when we stop focusing on what can't be done and start seeing what can be done.
Yeah. Well, listen, I absolutely love this story, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you sharing it. We just got back a little while ago from the convention in Sydney, Australia. We now have our annual conventions all over the world, and if you're a member and you have an opportunity to go to one of the conventions, I urge you to do it because it's like going to a United Nations meeting, especially when you see this flag ceremony where every country comes out with their flag. It's like going to a United Nations event where all the countries love each other. And that's what happens at a BNI International Convention.
Yes, absolutely.
Anna, thank you so much for sharing your very personal story. And I am so glad that you met your biological mother. And I hope you get a place in Italy and get to spend time with your family. And thanks for being on BNI Podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Over to you, Priscilla.
Okay, thank you. That's it for today. Thank you so much for that great story. Really wonderful. This podcast is sponsored by MeisnerAudioprograms.com. These audio programs will provide you with the tools and the inspiration to powerfully enhance your BNI experience. So check out the great material that's available to you at MeisnerAudioprograms.com and then use the promo code IVAN50 for 50% off of everything. All of the proceeds go to the BNI Foundation. Thanks so much for listening. This is Priscilla Rice, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for another exciting episode of the official BNI podcast.